Hello, this is Reformation and Revival Now. My name is Kevin Jones. Some of you know me as Brother Kevin, and I have something very, very precious I want to share with you. As so many of these videos that I make, a lot of them come right out of my prayer time, and this is no different. If you have your Bible, turn with me to Genesis chapter 4. I'm going to read a very, very well-known passage of Scripture, but one we kind of tend to ignore sometimes. I'm reading from the King James Version of the Bible, and it says, this is Genesis 4:26. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord. Now, I don't really have a lot of information on that scripture, and most people don't, but most people have. I do agree that no doubt some form of corporate worship was established. And the reason why I say that is because it says men began to call upon the name of the Lord. And so it's used in the corporate sense. Now, I can't imagine all that entails, but I do have a special word for you today so that you can be encouraged and built up in your relationship in Jesus Christ. What the scripture doesn't say, it's very good. It says, or it doesn't say, and men began to worship the Lord. It doesn't say that. What it does say is men began to call upon the name of the Lord. And I think that that is very, very interesting. The reason why, because it uses this verb, call. Okay? And when you think about call, what do you think about? And then it uses another word, name, or God's name, in this case, the name of the Lord. So it says, at this time, men began to call upon the name of the Lord. So, the reason why this is so important is because, though this is believed to be the first, maybe, expression of corporate worship in the earth, either it's been restored from the Garden of Eden days when it was just Adam and Eve, or maybe it's something that has not been yet revealed, but it's revealed now. However you look at it, men began to call upon the name of the Lord, and notice the word they're using here is call. Not lifting up holy hands, but call. Call as in, if I called your name, hey Frank, and you turned around, and you looked at me, what? Think about it. And men began to call upon the name of the Lord. Well, we think in our mind, when we call upon the name of the Lord, that means we worship him and we talk about how, great he is and how wonderful he is. Well, it certainly includes that. But here's the thing that sometimes dead religion teaches us. It teaches us to do things without meaning. If I call my wife's name, she's going to turn around. If I call my pastor's name, he's going to turn around. If I call my co-worker's name, he's going to turn around. Have you ever stopped to think that if you called upon God's name, he's going to look at you and say, yes? What do you want, Steve? What do you want, Kiana? What do you want, Susan? Have we ever really thought about that? And the second part is the name of the Lord. Why is it important? It's important because everything that God is in his name. In fact, in the books of law, a lot of his covenant names will be revealed. Some of the early names of God, Elohim, El Shaddai, Yahweh. Some people pronounce that word Jehovah. You probably heard the word Jehovah. The I am God. These are the early names of God. Well, all these names tell you something about God's character. And the term El Shaddai, it means all-sufficient one. It is I am. I am everything you need, everything you could possibly ever imagine you could need or want or desire. I am that. As one minister said, it means the God that's more than enough. I heard that in an old sermon years ago. And I just want to share with you that you're calling upon the name of the Lord. That means you have a revelation. See, for us, sometimes a name is just a handle to turn our heads. Well, Frank, okay, and we turn around. But a name in God's And God's thinking is much more than that. A name is who the person is. A name is the person's destiny. A name is all that person has. So when God says he's El Shaddai, he's saying, God, that's more than enough. I love you. See the difference? Because that name is a revelation. Well, when Seth has Enosh, it's saying that men began to call out loud upon El Shaddai, or the God that's more than enough. I bow down to you, God that's more than enough. That guy has more names than that. I just picked one. So I'm trying to get your attention here. We approach God through his name. They didn't just say men worshiped the Lord. It was very specific. It says men called upon the name of the Lord. And this scripture denotes that this is the first probably area where worship is denoted. Okay, so I want you to think about that. If you're going to approach God, you want to approach him by faith. Hebrews says, I think it's Hebrews 11, somewhere down the third or fourth verse, I forget. But anyway, it says that he that cometh to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those that diligently seek him. I'm saying this. Never come to God, never call upon the Lord's name without expecting him to hear you. So if somebody calls my name, I'm looking at what do they want? What do they want of me? They just called me. When you call upon God, what do you want? Well, Lord, I just want to love you. I just want to praise you. I just want to worship you. That gets his attention. God loves to be loved. But we're calling upon the name of the Lord, and that name denotes, a revelation of who he is. And very, very likely the name that was revealed at that time was probably Yahweh or El Leon, but probably the most basic name of God. I am comes a little bit later, which is El Shaddai and all that come a little later. But there is a revelation in that name, and I want you to think about that. When we go into the next video, I'm going to take time to unpack it. But for now, think about that. Are you calling upon the name of the Lord, and do you believe that because you call upon him in worship and faith, that he even looks at you? Of course he does. That's why it says men began to call. They began to call to God that he might answer them. It's a two-way relationship. You're not speaking to a brazen idol or to a wall or a little statue. You're praying to the God, the creator of the universe that made everything. And he wants you to believe that when you call upon his name, he answers you. That name is a revelation of who he is. All right, I'm going to stop right here, this being the intro, and we'll get into more of this later. God bless you. And some of this will be finished back at my house. All right, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.